Configuration management. The purpose of configuration management is to identify, record, maintain, and assure data and information about CIs. So here we are talking about, first of all, you should be in a position to identify configuration items. And what is configuration item? Configuration item is simply whatever change across the project lifecycle or operations during the life cycle of a particular project or operations. So if you look at any application, right, some documentation, some hardware, which is like an infrastructure, network devices, all these are supposed to be considered as CI. So first job is to identify, and then you record it in some systems, or you make a note of it. You have a documentation. Now maintain means nothing else, but whenever there is a change, it should be updated here. So maintain means at any point of time, if I would like to see, it should be up to date. And assure means if somebody comes and check it out, he or she should be able to say, yeah, this is correct. So assuring part is more to do with the review. At any point of time, any surprise review will also result into the correct information. CI to deliver or support using, as I said, application, software application, or a product like a SaaS product or any software product, hardware components and documentation. CI details are often in one or more CMDB, right? So basically, first of all, you have a CI, and that CI information is available into CMDB. But if you consider multiple CMDB, let's say there is a single service provider or a multiple service provider, they might have a multiple CMDB, and this multiple CMDBs are part of a CMS, nothing but configuration management system. And of course, these data sources of one CMDB would be connected with another CMDB. Records and maintains the details of relationship between CIs and documents, how they interact and rely upon each other. So basically, when you create a CI, definitely you have to build the relationship. Now, relationship means there is an application who is residing at any point of time is on a particular server. Server of which type? It may be a Windows server, Linux server. And on that server, and that server's location, probably it is in the data center or it's a virtualized environment. On that virtualized environment, the location plus where this server is located, and server is basically on which network devices, right? How the application or a server being accessed, viewed, or changed by other application or other servers. So basically, you need to have a relationship between the application, server, and the underlying network devices. That's how you build the relationship. And of course, we need to understand about the application information, infrastructure, or a server information, and the underlying network devices information. And that's how, all the application or a server interact with each other. There are some consideration also you need to have it when you are creating or building CMDB. So first is, as we know now, that service integrator responsibility must be clear that they are supposed to take care of CMDB, and they only contain the data which is supposed to be fulfilled or supposed to be required in terms of this entire SIAM implementation, right? And SI should be taking care of those responsibilities. Coming back to organization who is responsible for maintaining own CMDB, as I stated, single service provider or multiple service provider. So they should be able to provide or should be able to give the data which is part of that CMDB. Service provider need to share the subset of data in their CMDB with service integrator and other service providers. So let's say I'm taking care of 5 applications or 10 infrastructure or some network devices or network as a services. Then I should be able to give my data, and there is a team of CMDB, part of SI, who will be able to actually take care of this information, and that can be used for end-to-end kind of environment. The policy should also be kind of specify common classification. So let's say I'm taking care of 3 applications, but it do not have any kind of a end-to-end mechanism or end-to-end impact, then I should be able to, provide the information, and I should have a ownership to update this over a period of time based on the defined frequency. And this policy has to be really cutting across SIAM ecosystem. We have to really approach the CMDB in a very, very standard way. So you can create a data model, as I said, right? So the line of business of any organization who is really doing a SIAM implementation, then you have a, business services. So what are the business services? Let's say, retail or enterprise. Let's take the example of it's a line of business. Business services is nothing but under retail. What kind of a services you provide, which is business services, and under business services you have application services. Application services will have the application, and under application you will have an underlying infrastructure, and under underlying infrastructure you will have a network devices. So, and under network devices you might have a WAN kind of services, right? So that's how from bottom to the top, this kind of a data model needs to be set it out. And of course, there is a possibility that you have to have an integration, because you cannot have all this information from a data center available manually, right? So you discover this data via some server, and you have to have an integration with the server who is maintaining a CMDB information and the server who is actually fetching the information from a data center or a cloud or some sort of a how do I say, some sort of a site or a location from where the data will be fetched remotely, and that same data will be actually stored into CMDB. So there'll be an integration which is required, and for that easily we use the terminology called discovery. So discovery is a kind of a very very essential when you have to really build the CMDB data model, right? So again, the party or a provider who is actually maintaining their application information or infra information, that should be responsibility of or maintaining that data into CMDB by the each individual impacted party, and responsibilities for assessing and improving data quality. So at any point of time, I want to assess or I want to improve the overall quality. Let's say, take the example of application. So application will have application owner, will have the applications contract, applications type of contract, applications level 1, 2, 3 kind of a support, escalation mechanism, what are the hardware and software requirement of that application, what are the SLAs for a priority or severity. This application is relying on which hardware or which server is of which type, what kind of support we have for that server is really under the services or end of life is nearing, or end of services is nearing. Then we need to understand about the warranty for the server or application, right? What are the changes or features ongoing? What is the most frequently used features of this application, right? How the relationship built between this infrastructure or a server and the application, right? All this information should be maintained and qualitatively maintained rather in CMDB for accuracy purpose.